Okay, good. So on this one, we're going to talk about what happens if we're looking at triangles. We're still comparing similar triangles, but now there's even a bigger shortcut. And in order to do that, you have to know that these lines right here are parallel. Are we good? I can set up a proportion. What this is saying is if those lines are parallel, right, that's a symbol for parallel, then I can say that PS over SQ is going to be equal to PT over TR. So I don't have to go back and find the whole side of a triangle. There's a special little caveat that we can use if these are parallel. So I can just use parts of triangles. Because the triangles are similar, they're telling you that. Okay? So for instance, on number 1, I have the x right here. That x does not have to equal 10, it's going to be proportional to 10. So for instance, if I had two lines like this, and I had this line that went straight up and down, maybe it formed 90 degrees, and that was 5 units long. Would that line be the same as this line right here? Would the length be the same?
No.
No, because now that's like the hypotenuse of a right triangle. This side could be longer. So right here on these two sides, I don't know how slanted it is from those parallel lines. I can't tell you for sure. Those two appear to be the same. Okay, so let's find out what they are. So x over 27
No. You did it yesterday.
and 10 over 30.
Yesterday you did it different.
Okay,
You did x over 10.
so 30 times x would give me 30x. And 27 times 10 is 270
X equals
divided by 30. So x equals 9. So then on yesterday, did I say x over 10?
yes, and
27 over 30? Oh look, I'm still multiplying x times 30. And I'm still multiplying 27 times 10.
But still you did
Are we good? Okay. Are we good?
Yeah.
So on the next one, same thing. Part. X over 12.
No.
Part. 11 over, how do I find this
22.
piece? Why?
You gotta subtract 33 from
Good.
11.
Because 33 is the entire side, and I know that part is 11. If I get rid of that part, it is 22. So it's 22x. What's 11 times 12?
X equals 6.
122? Is that what you said? 132.
X equals 6.
And then divided by 22. So x equals what?
6. I did that in my head.
Are we okay?
Yep.
Same thing over here. Oh, wait a minute. If I did part, how big would this part be?
X equals 8. What?
If I have this part's 24, how
Right.
big's that
It's
part?
gonna be 34 because you got to add that 10 from there. Is that right? No? Okay.
So this part is 30 and that part is 10. We could work it. Okay, we could do that because this part is the whole thing, which is x. And then I have to get rid of this part, so I have to subtract 24. So that little part right here is x minus 24. Some of you just shivered because you don't like doing all that kind of stuff, right? That's okay. All of this still works as long as they give you enough information. You can still go back and compare one triangle to the other triangle. Okay? If I'm trying to find x, x is on the green triangle, right? So green over blue. X is what I'm looking for. On the blue triangle, what side coordinates with the x?
10.
40.
Okay, stop and think. The x is this side right here, right?
Yes.
On the blue triangle, what side coordinates with that?
30. 24.
24, absolutely. 24. And then on the green triangle, I know this huge side right here, don't I? This side on the green triangle is how big?
40.
40. On the blue triangle, what's the same side?
30.
30. And then I can cross multiply. That gives me 30x. 40 times 24 is what? 960 divided by 30. And that would tell me that x is 32.
Yeah.
Are we okay? So really, we're not doing anything different, are we?
No.
No. We're just setting up proportions. I'm not going to worry about answering the next couple. Okay, all this is saying is if they're proportional, right? So if they're proportional, then the lines have to be parallel. So if they're asking, are the lines parallel? Then set up a proportion. If they're the same, then the lines have to be parallel. Okay? Backside. This is like what we just talked about. This is the exact same thing. Okay? Remember right here, if I continue these up, it's nothing more than a triangle. Just like what we were doing. Now I have part and part, part and part. Everybody good? You have to follow a pattern. I don't care if you go from here to here or here to here. Either way will work to find the answer. The problem is when you go to try and compare what's the scale factor. That's when there's a problem. Okay? And if I wanted to find the scale factor, I would have to go from 5 to 8, not going across. Because going across is talking about the same triangle. Right? Okay? So on this one here, I could do 5 over 8, y over 12, and then I would just cross multiply. That would give me 8y. What's 5 times 12? 60 divided by 8 is what? 5 what? 7.5. Thank you. Are we okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Same thing here on the next one. Notice they have all the arrows, right? Okay. Again, if I were to continue this out, this is nothing more than just a triangle. So I can do part over part, part over part. The problem on this one is, notice the x's and the y's. Do I want to have one single problem that has both x and y?
No.
Good. So go pick and choose. Which ones do you want? You just have to make sure you use the same ones. So if it were me, I'd start with x, because I always do. X and 3, x and 4. Are you with me? So I would do x over 3, and that's going to be equal to x plus 3 over 4. And then from there I would just cross multiply. 4 times x gives me 4x. And that's going to be equal to, cross multiply here, remember there's parentheses, 3 times x plus 3. Now what?
And then you got
You gotta distribute that love.
and then it's gonna be 3x plus 9.
Now what?
You gotta
Did x by itself? So now I know that x is equal to 9. And then I could go back and do the same thing, but instead of using the x's,
use the wire mode.
use the y's. So I would do y and 3, 2y and 4. So y over 3, and then 2y minus 5 over 4. So that would give me 4y is equal to 3 times 2y minus 5. Distribute out. So 4y is equal to 6y minus 15. Subtract 6y from both sides. That's a negative 2y is equal to negative 15. Divide by negative 2. So y is equal to, what is that, 7.5?
Yep.
Okay. Questions?